We learned about the 13 colonies. We learned about French colonies. We even learned about honeybee colonies. But I never learned about freedom colonies. And that's wild because they're just as relevant as anything else we learned. So, what are freedom colonies? They were all Black communities that we built, places where we lived, thrived, and self regulated after slavery ended. See, just because we were free didn't mean we were safe. Violence against Black people didn't stop with emancipation. If anything, it got worse. So, we created freedom colonies, places where we could live without constant fear, where we built our own businesses, had our own schools, our own churches, our own farms. We protected ourselves, supported each other, and thrived on our own terms. And there weren't just one or two of these communities, there were hundreds. They were all over the United States, but somehow they never taught us about them in school. I wonder why. Actually, I don't wonder. I know why. Because they love to teach us about plantations, about struggle, about chains and servitude. They love to show us as victims who couldn't do anything on our own. But they didn't want us to know about the times we actually did do it, the times we built wealth, independence, and power. Because when Black success showed up, it always became a target. Just look at Rosewood, Florida. It was a thriving Black community, families with their own businesses, their own homes. But in 1923, a false accusation against a Black man sparked a massacre. White mobs burned the town to the ground. Black residents were killed, driven out, erased. And it wasn't just in Rosewood. In Texas, the Freedom Colony of Antioch was destroyed, burned to the ground, because white neighbors couldn't stand to see Black people thriving. We can think about Tulsa with Black Wall Street. We can also think about Wilmington, where the Black political power caused the whole coup, and the town was burned to the ground. Like, seriously, do you ever wonder why they didn't teach us about these places? Maybe it's because they didn't want their kids to know what they did. Didn't want their kids to know the truth, that their great-grandparents were the monsters in the story, that they didn't just oppress Black people, they tried to erase any signs of our strength. And that's wild. They wanted us to believe we couldn't do anything, but when we did, they had to take it away. That's why they didn't want us learning about freedom colonies, because they show a different kind of history, a history where we were strong, resilient, capable, and self-sufficient, a history where we didn't just survive, we thrived until they attacked. And don't think this was rare. It's not just a way back then thing either. These communities existed everywhere, maybe even right in your city. Some are still here, hidden in plain sight. But even though they tried to erase these stories, we're bringing them back. We're remembering our strength, our resistance, our power. Because they might have tried to erase these stories, but they couldn't erase us. And y'all know the algorithm doesn't like when I tell these stories. So remember to like, comment, and share to help keep them alive. And remember to subscribe for more stories that they won't put in your textbook. Peace.